if you are a 3D printing designer, you probably want to start considering stopping selling files and instead selling the actual prints themselves, because it's just as much work. Now let me explain this. Right now, the world is kind of shifting. For a long time, 3D printing designers have been subsisting off of subscription revenue, where a large group of people would pay a subscription to have access to the latest files that they design each month or each week, whatever it happens to be. And a person would end up designing a dozen ducks every month so that everybody gets the ducks that they want to 3D print. And that has been a good business model, and many designers make a lot of money from it. But it is a business model that is changing. Things like Etsy's new policies around original designs can start to hurt designers who are on creating subscription revenue. Users can no longer purchase the same file and sell it the way they used to, because Etsy wants original files and original designs on the platform. So that will hurt your subscriber base over time, but you're also always been hurt by your subscriber base because it requires that you continue to create new files every single week and month in order to make sure there's a new duck for everybody all the time. Otherwise, your subscribers will leave. They already saw the duck from last month. They're not going to keep on paying a subscription for the same batch of ducks. So you're kind of on this treadmill of creating more and more files all the time. And you, as a designer, have never wanted to sell the prints yourself, because that would mean you have to operate a print farm and ship stuff internationally. You might be based in whatever country somewhere around the world to where you just can't ship to the United States or to core markets in the world where this stuff is being sold and where your subscribers are selling them. But when you give up those files, you are giving up those files. The subscription files, as soon as they're out there on the internet and have been disseminated to a few dozen, few hundred, few thousand people, you no longer have control of the file, and your design is being sold on Etsy or the STLs themselves. So there's just so much waste, so much danger, and none of it is necessary anymore. There are services like our Teleport print-on-demand app, to where you can just upload 3D models, list them to your own e-commerce store, WooCommerce, Etsy, Shopify, whatever it happens to be. And then when somebody buys the print, our print farm will print it and ship it directly to your customer for you. So you are still operating as a 3D model designer. You're creating neat original ducks every month, but you're actually able to benefit from all the downstream value of it. There's also just a huge amount of more value for it, because you can make so much more money. A real simple example of this is, think about the size of the 3D printer market. There might be about 1 million or so people out there who have 3D printers and actively use them to where they would be a potential person to subscribe to you. And they'll pay you $5 a month to get access to your ducks each month. But if you are actually selling the duck can be sold to all kinds of other people on the planet, and there's about 8 billion people on the planet. Let's narrow this down. 1 million guys with 3D printers, 350 million people in the United States who buy plastic ducks. So you can 300x your market, and therefore 300x the amount of revenue you make if you're actually selling the print rather than just the file. The file can only be sold to 3D printer people. The print can be sold to everyone. So you have the opportunity to make a lot more money that way. But it's not only that. Not only is your market bigger, but your margins are better. For this duck, in order to make it valuable to people inside of your subscription base, they're probably paying somewhere between $5 and $10 a month on Patreon in order to get access to a few ducks per month. So they're basically paying you like $2 per duck. But so you're making $2 of pure profit per duck after you get it designed. But this duck can probably be sold for like $5 or something to somebody. If you have a really cool duck that has some extra features, or you're solving some problem in the real world, bear with me. I understand I'm just using a duck for this example, but you can design really useful things that have way higher margins. You can design a 3D print that costs like $2 or $3 to make, and then you can sell it for $5 or $10. Now, instead of making $2 of pure profit for a file that you have to continue to recreate and that people are able to steal from you, you can instead make $3, $5, $10 off of the prints, of which you can sell more and of which you just have better margins. So if you are a 3D printing product designer, you should be considering selling your own prints, because for a long time it's been a no-no because you really didn't want to build a print farm, and I totally get that. But that's not necessary anymore. Literally just in the past year, services where you can upload a file and connect it straight into your Etsy store so that it's totally automatic, so that when you get a sale, part is printed and shipped directly to a customer, means that you still get to be a 3D model designer. You just have to create 3D models and create the product listings, which you're doing already anyway with all of your subscribers, creating wonderful photos and demos of how it works. All of that same workflow remains the same, but instead of selling prints and subscriptions and having to create new models every month continuously in order to feed the subscription cow, you can just compound and grow. You can sell more models You can sell the prints of the models, so you make more money by selling to more people by not having to do as much work. You can do the same amount of work, but just have way bigger benefits on the back end than has ever been possible before. So if you're a 3D model designer, you may want to start considering experimenting with a service like Teleport to see how much more you can make by doing the same amount of effort. Have a great day, everybody.